Good morning and welcome to Renfrew North Parish Church. Over the last few weeks, there will be a number of things that you'll have been able to do for the first time since the lockdown restrictions were put into place. Things like being able to go to a favourite fast food outlet, to go through the drive-through and perhaps pick up one of these that you've been looking forward to for some time, a burger. Or maybe there have been other things you've been able to do, picking up a coffee there perhaps. But you may have been allowed to do these things, but there'll be other things that you're looking forward to doing. Things like coming to the coffee bar here at the church during the week, or going to a favourite coffee shop at the garden centre, or perhaps going to a restaurant that you love. You'll be looking forward to doing these things in due course, and that time will come. This morning, I've been thinking about food a little bit. That's why I brought the burger. Think about the number of times that food is mentioned in the Bible. Food is used as a means of offering hospitality to people. Right from the very beginning, when Abraham offered hospitality to angels, he entertained angels in the desert. And right away through the Old Testament, through to the New Testament times when Jesus both gave and received hospitality. There was the time when he invited himself to Zacchaeus' house. A strange thing happened there. Zacchaeus hosting Jesus in his house. Jesus going to the house of a sinner. And then there was the time when Jesus went to the house of Simon the Pharisee, where he was given this wonderful meal. It was also the time when Mary anointed Jesus' feet with that oil, that very precious oil. It was the time when Jesus himself, at the time of the feeding of 5,000, converted those loaves of bread and those fish into enough food for all those people to eat. And of course, there was the time when Jesus was in that upper room with his disciples, eating bread and wine for the last time. But in doing so, showing them that he was with them. They were there together, sharing in that food, sharing in that wonderful time together. So throughout the Bible, we can see these times of hospitality, times of sharing food and drink, and feeling what it was like to be part of a community. This morning's reading reflects that idea of community and hospitality when we read from Matthew's Gospel, Matthew chapter 10, verses 40 to 42. He who receives you receives me, and he who receives me receives the one who sent me. Anyone who receives a prophet because he is a prophet will receive a prophet's reward, and anyone who receives a righteous man because he is a righteous man will receive a righteous man's reward. And if anyone gives even a cup of cold water to one of these little ones because he is my disciple, I tell you the truth, he will certainly not lose his reward. This passage also reminds us of this gift of hospitality that we can give to one another and that we can receive. And there are also opportunities, very small ones at the moment, as the lockdown restrictions are eased, but ways in which we can engage in that. We can already perhaps be part of a member of our family's household, part of their bubble, and we can spend extra time with them. We can also have a friend round and share a cup of tea in the garden. These are some small ways in which we can extend that hospitality. And as the weeks and months go on, we'll be able to widen that remit of hospitality, sharing together, opening your home to friends and family, to have meals together, to have cups of tea and cups of coffee, spending extra time. We look forward to that, a time in which we can invite people not just into our homes for meals, but invite people into our lives to share all that we have and all that we know in Jesus' name. So this idea of hospitality, of welcome, is fundamental to our lives and our discipleship as Christ's followers. This morning I also have some bad news to report, in that one of our friends and members of Renfrew North Parish Church, Dorothy Scott, passed away on Thursday. Dot was a much loved and valued member of the team here at the church and also of the choir. And we give thanks to God for her life and all that she did through and in this place. And I'd like you to remember Dot's family and friends in your prayers at this time. It's also a time to remind us of this opportunity we have on a Sunday evening at 7 o'clock to join with fellow Christians throughout Scotland in praying for each other, praying for our churches, praying for our families and friends, and praying for this nation of ours. So we give thanks to God for all that we have, but also pray for God's help and for God's blessing in these days to come. So please do remember to pray at 7 o'clock this evening and to pray with others at that time. But until next week, I ask you to pray for one another, to stay well, stay safe, and God bless.